Now, if you got any ounce of the Holy Ghost in you, you will know that Cracker Barrel is definitely the place to eat when you are running the road. But today we're not talking about the eats. We are going to talk about RV parking, where you can park, how to park at Cracker Barrel, and some of the various issues and idiosyncrasies Cracker Barrel has throughout the country. So with that being said, we're going to rock out a little bit to this, and then we're going to start the show, how to park at Cracker Barrel.
When he speaks from the heart and tells it like it is, we call that unscripted. Welcome to Unscripted from Hanging with the Hazes.
So when it comes to Cracker Barrel, let's talk about RV parking a little bit. The general policy for many Cracker Barrel locations across the United States is that they'll allow you free overnight parking as a courtesy, provided that you buy something to eat from them. Now, the one thing I'm going to tell you about Cracker Barrel is that you need to make sure that you talk to the manager before you do that, because a lot of them do have special instructions. Now, special instructions could be where to park, how long you can stay, and really what time they want you to pull out. Usually it's right after breakfast, something like that. But if they have any special preferences, you need to try to, adhere to that. I think that's the general policy when it comes to that. Now, one of the things I want to caution you about, and I'm going to go ahead and kill the music bed. One of the things that I want to caution you about when it comes to Cracker Barrel and parking, there's two things. The farther south you go, and when I say south, I'm talking about south of I-66 on the East Coast. Not really sure where it starts on the west. I'm going to say south of 70, but definitely south of 66 on the East Coast. There are people in Virginia, South, even down into Florida, that do not respect where it says bus and RV parking. Now, I'm talking about this because it can jam you up depending on how these people park. When it comes to RV parking in Cracker Barrel specifically, you could wake up and have somebody directly in front of you, directly beside you, right up on your slide, right up on your door, blocking your, towed vehicle if you got one. And it can be a pain because Cracker Barrel does not enforce don't park in RV parking, don't park in bus parking. And then the people have the unmitigated gall to want to have an attitude and get pissed off in the event that you park in their spot. So the way to deal with Cracker Barrel is very simple. If you decide that you want to park there overnight, the better thing to do is to get up before the people start getting there and make the adjustments to your unit. Now, I like to put traffic cones out, but in the South, they don't always recognize that as, hey, don't park here. So sometimes you may have to reposition, like move your unit and take up 12 or 13 spots so that you can get out and finish up your day. Most of the time, however, you will have room to be able to maneuver out. Just don't pin yourself in a corner or anything like that where it's going to be difficult to make a turn if some num-num decides to pull right up beside you in your bumper. Now, there is also the option of upsetting somebody's meal, and I'm sure if they get their meal upset a few times, then they'll stop doing that type of stuff. But there's nothing that you really can do about it other than try to be proactive and just not park in a way that you can be boxed in. That's the best that you can do. Now, here's the other thing I want to share about Cracker Barrel. The better times to, let me take that back. The best time not to go is on the weekend. Now, weekends, of course, is when they probably see most of their business, especially holiday weekends. I'm not going to say don't go. You just got to be real careful. The shorter the unit, the better. And keep in mind that their spaces were not built for RVs towing. They were really built for buses and shorter RVs. So when I pull up with 57 feet of coach and car, that sometimes I don't fit in the space. So keep in mind that is definitely a possibility. You might need to look for alternative parking, like maybe on a street and then walk over where you can just easily pull out. Or like I said, take the back of the parking lot and just make it your own. And, if people get upset because they can't park nowhere, let them know. Tell your friends, don't park in our spots and we won't be doing this. That's kind of how you have to do that. There's no real way around it. However, Cracker Barrel is usually a very safe space. They typically do have cameras and things like that. So your unit will be fine. And, as anywhere, I don't recommend leaving your doors unlocked because some Cracker Barrels are right off the highway, and it does make it attractive for those crooks, thieves, and dope heads to try you. And as you probably know, the average RVer is not the person that you want to try with some foolishness. Yeah, just don't give them an invitation. Always lock your car to your tow bar to your coach, and then make sure that all of your chains and stuff like that, make sure that they're in a way that if somebody were to disturb them, you would instantly know it. And then always check your stuff before you pull off, just like you would any other safety conscious time, just to make sure that nothing funny is going on. But other than that, that's basically the rules at parking at Cracker Barrel. Always get manager approval. Make sure you eat something good while you're there. If you got the lady with you, I'm sure she's gonna spend some money in the little general store there. Most of the time they do. The kids are gonna want some candy or something like that. Just patronize them and let them know that, hey, we appreciate what you're doing. And I definitely would talk to management about, cars parking there. If it's just becoming that much of a headache, they're going to lose a lot of business because, it might be 3 or 4 of us pulling up in an RV, but if that bus can't park with 52 people in it, that's a whole lot of money that they're going to lose. And to be honest with you, they would rather see that come in than the 1 or 2 people that don't know how to park. Come on. Yeah. It's all about economics at that point. With that being said, it has been an absolute pleasure talking to y'all. I'm going to go ahead and make my way on out of here. It's been a true and absolute pleasure to hang out with you. And if you have any questions or issues or disagree with what I said, let me know. I can handle it. I'm going to go ahead and throw it over to my main man, Funky Skunk, and I'm out of here.
Be sure to join us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and you can always catch us on Facebook and YouTube. Hanging with the Hazes.